With the Iron Fist broken, how will Danny Rand save the day? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then review it dramatically back to you. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. This is Iron Fist Volume 2 Redemption. We already have Volume 1 covered, and you can click now to get it. But if you don't want to go back, Danny Rand, also known as the Iron Fist, has had his Iron Fist broken, and the leaders of Kunlun and the mystical city that is Kunlun has been destroyed, the one thing that the Iron Fist was supposed to protect. This happened because instead of staying and protecting Kunlun, he sought revenge for his parents' death. Realizing that he failed everyone and lost his chi, Danny is training with his childhood friend named Sparrow and an old man named Foe. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Brenda, Danny's newest girlfriend, has joined forces with Detective Lee to try and rescue a young monk named Pai and her hatchling dragon, the new Xiao Lao. She's been rescued by the creature that beat Danny into submission, the One, which contains the essence of Danny's father, and Davos, the man trying to take control of Kunlun, the ones trying to activate the largest Randall Gate ever, a teleportation device that is used to travel from Kunlun to Earth. Meanwhile, at the base of Rand Tower, which is where our enemy is, Brenda and Detective Lee have gotten inside by pretending to be XPS delivery personnel. But once they get behind the massive door, they discover that there is more to this than one little girl being kidnapped, as multiple individuals are sealed in contraptions and strapped to the walls. After finally being nursed back to health by Sparrow and Foe grants Danny a new weapon to use, something to replace his chi and his iron fists until he can get them back. Foe forged Danny new metallic fists using the forbidden techniques of Kunlun. While Danny feels he's ready to face off with the One again, Foe tells him that he is not ready. He has one place to go first, with someone expecting him. Earth is only one of many locations that a Randall Gate can send an individual to. Danny steps in the gate and he lands in a world washed over with nothing more than black and white, and he feels nothing but death around him. He's arrived in Dayu, where souls are cleansed for rebirth. He faces off with the guardians of this land and eventually finds the reason that he came here, to find his own mother. She died protecting him all of those years back on the bridge. Once he finds her, he yells out for Foe to bring him back. He found his mother, but she begins to talk. She explains that she should have left his father, that she isn't being held here by any guards, but by the vengeance that she cursed Danny with. She pointed Danny at Harold all of those years ago, and she pulled the trigger. She told him to get revenge for what Wendell did to their family, and thus, she chained Danny to darkness. She begs for his forgiveness, for him to let her go, to let go of his vengeance. And Danny does. He lets go of his vengeance, his anger, and his revenge. The chains around his mother's wrists vanish, and she begins to walk off into the nothingness of death, asking him to find a way to forgive his father as well. Then, as the color returned to Danny, he realized that he was back home, and he turned to Sparrow. "We won't get our revenge, Sparrow. We need to defeat the One and Davos and have a redemption. A chance to make things right, to restore the world, two worlds, to make them whole." Foe then interrupts Danny. "I always did admire a man of modesty. You better be damn sure you're ready, because I built the One on orders from the former UT, and I built him to be unbeatable." They then hand Danny his uniform, the Iron Fist uniform, and they open the Rand Gate back to Earth. Sparrow, Foe, and Danny all appear in the middle of the sky, and Sparrow reaches out grabbing Danny, and then he looks around looking for Foe, but Foe is gone. "Foe!" he cries out, but Sparrow grabs him. "Danny, what do you think you're doing? I need to find Foe! He's gonna fall!" "Who?" "Foe died a decade ago, a casualty in New On's regime, killed for using the forbidden technologies of Kunlun. But he trained me, he nursed me back to health. I was the one who did that. We've been alone for the past 4 weeks. With that, they land in Rand Tower, in front of a series of security ninja women ready to get Daniel a bottle of water, validate his parking, and cut him open from ear to ear. Neither Danny nor Sparrow care though, as they begin dropping these ninjas while he continues to question this. "Wait, seriously? Foe hasn't been here the entire time? Who was I talking to?" "You were talking to yourself." "Well, if I'm so crazy, who built the steampunk bracers and portaled me to hell to forgive my mother?" "I didn't see a thing." "Then who operated the Randall Gate and got us here?" "You have one in your basement." "Well, technically I do." "We don't have time for this. Let's drop the terror monks." and then proceed to do just that, battling against the terror monks. But the fight is interrupted as Davos steps out of the elevator. Danny leaps in ready to punch Davos right in the nose, but then remembering he doesn't have his chi or his iron fists, he reels back in pain from the hit. Sparrow tells him to find the One, find his father while she handles Davos. Danny climbs up the elevator cables to the top floor, where he finds the One waiting for him. He turns around facing Danny. "We can be a family again! Or I can leave you in pieces. We can be whole!" Danny doesn't care though as he leaps in, cracking his weapon across the One's head. They then begin going back and forth, with Danny winning until the One grabs Danny's 3-section staff. Danny pulls his swords out and cuts the One's hands off. In response, the One hits Danny so hard that he throws him through the floors of the building. Danny comes to on the bottom floor where he sees all of the monks from Kunlun strapped to machines. And Foe! Foe, are you dead? Don't be an idiot, of course I'm dead. Oh great, I've gone crazy. No, it's time for you to make a choice, Danny. The One is beating you because he's taking the chi from all of the monks of Kunlun. But if you choose life, you can take the chi and get back your fists. Then Danny feels the power of Kunlun begin pumping through him. His chi has returned. The One jumps down below to find Danny burning with the chi of all of Kunlun, and they jump at each other ready to end this. But Danny has the iron fists again, and they destroy the One in a single hit, shattering him into 1,000 pieces. But he isn't defeated yet as the shattered pieces of the One command the terror monks to reverse the chief and the citizens of Kunlun and open the Randall Gate! Open the door between the living and the dead! Destroy the barriers between heaven and earth! Danny can't believe what his father, the One, is doing! All over the tower, each of the monks begins to light up, and they shoot their chi out of their eyes and into the sky, pouring it into the Randall Gate. And even Brenda and Detective Lee are scared as they can see everything that's going on. The One reaches out and Danny sees the reason behind all of this, why his father wanted to open up this gate, why he became this monstrosity. Danny's mother is standing in the bridge. His father, an abomination of man and metal reborn by Foe, has opened the bridge between heaven and earth to bring Heather back. But as Danny tells him, the door wasn't opened for her. The One opened it for someone else. Zurong has arrived, the god of fire and the guardian of the universal order. Zurong crushes the One right away, and then he tells the world, "You have disrespected the boundaries of the living and the dead. You have angered your gods, and you have earned their responses." He begins destroying everything around, and Danny pulls himself towards his father, begging to know what he did, and he asks him, "Are you still connected to the tower, father?" His father, using his metal, begins to wrap around Danny. "Come to me, my son, and I will show you." So Danny allows his father's machinery to envelop him, and he has a plan. As Zurong begins to destroy everything around him with the news helicopters asking, "Where are the Avengers?" Danny begins to take control of the entire Rand building, and using the chi of the members of Kunlun still trapped inside, he becomes a giant battle armor building. He then punches Zurong into another building. Realizing that Rand Tower is entirely filled with chi, Danny realizes he can wield the entire building like a weapon, like his iron fists, and the Battle of Tyrants begins. Zurong tries to respond by attacking back, but Danny is literally a building with the moves of a Kunlun monk, and having those abilities, he manages to uppercut and jump on Zurong. He's winning! But inside Davos, the UT is demanding the members of Kunlun stop fueling Danny Rand. He commands it! Earth is lost, and their citizens need to leave. He then grabs the new Xiaolao dragon by the throat, disrupting its energies. This throws a disruption into the chi that Danny is summoning, which is the opening that Zurong needs to split the building in half. Zurong then begins to tear the building apart, and Danny sees his chance, his only chance. He charges his iron fist to full strength, and he jumps out of the building, and he aims for Zurong's forehead. But where did he get that chi? Where did the power come from? Pai, the little monk girl, put Davos through the wall, freeing Xiaolao. As the sun rises in the distance, everyone can see the destruction. Buildings and ruins everywhere, and the emergency services are running around trying to save whoever they can. Brenda wrapped Pai in a jacket, and the two of them stood there next to the body of a giant ancient god, wondering if Danny will ever come back. When out of nowhere, he punches his way out of the head of this god, landing on the ground next to them. "You're okay!" Brenda exclaims. "Yeah, it took a while for my chi to kick in and heal me up. Ever try meditating in the brain of a god?" Brenda jumps on him, and for some reason he's naked, and that's when Foe walked over. "Miss me, Blondie?" Brenda asks Danny if he knows this little man, and Danny automatically dismisses him. Oh, don't worry about him, Brenda. Wait, you could see him too? Of course she could see me. I'm back to life. Foe, what did you do? When I created the One, I programmed subroutines to protect my life from that devil Nuan, to bring me back by any means. The thing with it absorbing your father, Davos, and the destruction of Kunlun, that was never in the programming though. I made a mistake, a wrong choice. Danny is just staring at the little man. So this whole thing was a way to bring you back to the world of the living? Life is chaos, Blondie, and I could not predict all of this. I am sorry. Then, Foe walked away. You see, the Randall Gate is now unstable, and it has maybe one trip left. So all of the Kunlun monks and Sparrow are returning home. And they ask Danny if he wants to join them, but he's decided that he's been away from home too long already. So Sparrow leaves with the Kunlun monks, and she leaves Pi with Danny. He is now her new Thunderer, her trainer, and Sparrow will pick her back up the next time that Kunlun's gates open up, only about 10 years from now. And that's everything, isn't it? Danny is fine, and he's now training Pi, and the monks have all gone home, and he has Brenda. Oh yeah, Brenda. What was her secret? Well, the next night to celebrate, Danny and Brenda went out for a meal where Danny tells her he's falling for her. And she replies by kicking the table away and telling him not to say it. He tells her to stop, and she throws punches and kicks at him and locks him in an armbar. They end up going out the window where they scale the side of the building to the roof, and Danny wants to know what the heck is going on. So she pulls a gun on him and she explains. Her father was Harold, the man that killed Danny's father originally and doomed his mother, and his mother sent him on a path of vengeance to kill. Before the trip to search for Kunlun, Harold promised to take care of Brenda's mother and raise her. But when he came back, he was changed and it gutted her mother. Her mother told Brenda to get revenge any way that she could, and she chose to do this by killing the only surviving member of the family that killed him. Problem is, she fell in love that night that she was supposed to kill Danny, the night that they were at his place. So she had a new plan. Make Danny fall in love with her back so that she can punish him in an even greater way. She then raises the gun to her own head. Every choice has a consequence, Danny, and this is yours. She then shoots herself, and there is nothing Danny could do to stop it, except catch the bullet with his iron fist. She walked away from the roof that night. It was a mistake not to kill you, she told him as she left. With that still going on in his head, Danny went back to his apartment to find Luke Cage, an old friend there, and half the place burning down. Pi found a way to revive the baby Xiaolao dragon and all other 66 incarnations of chi-breathing dragons. I'm so tired of all of this, Danny says. Ah crap, what the heck. I think I kinda needed this, and with that he fist bumps Luke Cage, heroes for hire. And that resolves the Carrie Andrews version of Iron Fist, one of my favorite incarnations of this character. I'm sorry it took us so long to wrap up the storyline, but I hope you felt that it was worth it. Don't forget to support these books by buying Volume 1 and 2, because that's the best way to get him to come back and do more of this. I'm Benny the Comicstorian, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out the other ones on the screen right now. You just might like those as well.